Celebrating 5 years on YouTube as your favorite post-game show for the Sharks. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is January 14th, 2020, and the San Jose Sharks go to Glendale, Arizona to play the Desert Dogs. Oh, excuse us. And lose 6-3 to the Coyotes. Welcome, Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks post-game show. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Join us with fellow Sharks fans in our YouTube chat on the page or the app. And, of course, follow us on the social, where it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, all at Teal Town USA. And, of course, for more Sharks content, hit us up at tealtownusa.com. Pleased to be joined tonight by the angry Canadian robot. He is Ian Reid.
Today I'm just the tired Canadian robot who apparently was buying a crap ton of pillows.
Pillows? I hope they're...
Yeah, I left my phone on and I pocket tweeted like a bunch of pillow ads apparently.
Okay, so you go for
and some other
plush or
random
foam?
gibberish. Flash for sure.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, welcome everyone. I see there's already a ton of chat going on already, I'll ask you this right off the get-go. Ian, was this the last time Dillon was in a teal sweater?
That day is coming, but there's still like a month until the trade deadline. I think, like, if Doug Wilson is going to maximize his trade value in a guy like Brendan Dillon, I think you need to wait and see how things kind of pan out. Because again, in my initial article in the Selling the Sharks series, I looked at the defense, and left shot defense don't really return as well as right shot defense. But I think if you wait for the right situation, you can get a GM to overpay to try and fill a spot. I think. There's no rush to trade Brendan Dillon.
No, I don't think so.
But it's something that you should probably. I mean, it's something I'm sure they're considering. But I think, I think that you want to wait until see some of those dominoes start to fall a little bit to drive up prices a little bit. Right now, really, no dominoes have really fallen yet. So, I think if they were to go trade Brendan Dillon tomorrow, the return's not going to be great.
I mean, it is coming, unfortunately, and Dilly's been a heck of a player for this team. Definitely has grown throughout the years. His skating, my gosh, has increased so much. But that time is coming.
Yeah, I mean, Dillon's a guy who, when he first arrived, I couldn't stand, and he's very, very. Over time, he's definitely grown on me. Is he defensive faults? No, but I think there's a lot of people that still talk about Brendan Dillon like it's 2015 still, and he's a completely his game has improved and has matured. Dillon, I don't think he gets as much credit as he should. I think he. Mm-hmm. Some people out there, they have the guys that they like and they have their guys that they don't like, and they're going to hammer them whenever they get the opportunity to. And that's fine. Some people will accuse me of doing that with Martin Jones. Maybe that's fair to a point. So I mean, but I think Brendan Dillon's game has come along significantly from where we was when we first got him.
Chris has in the chat, Ian warmed up to Dillon because Rocket wore him down. Well, that's because he would never go for a burrito. Him or Paul Martin.
Yeah.
So, a one-timer saying lacking Couture show tonight. I think lacking any I don't want to say passion, but seemed a little lackadaisical throughout this game tonight.
I really like I thought the first two periods, I thought they played I really liked a lot of the Sharks game through the first two periods. The third period, on the other hand, I wasn't their best period of hockey. I really thought, I don't know. I don't want to say this team, I think sometimes when things are going okay, and which I think they were in a pretty good position after the first two periods, they take shortcuts. And tonight it bit them on the ass really hard.
Yeah. Yep. And Patrick is also saying lack of contours will start to show against the next two teams on the schedule. Wouldn't be surprised if they went 0 for 2 against Vancouver and Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, well, look at Logan Couture is a significant piece on this team. Like playing, like not having Logan Couture is a disadvantage. There is no way to like be like, oh, playing without Logan Couture is just fine. Like it's not. It's just not going to be fine. It's not going to be good. The Sharks are never at an advantage without Logan Couture on the ice. Period. Right. So I mean, like, yeah, it's any game. It doesn't matter win or loss. There's no situation where the Sharks are better off for not having Couture.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is that Couture is, well, I mean, one, he's your leader.
Yeah.
And secondly,
he's one of the best two-way forwards in the game. Like, I mean, he is a special player that the Sharks you don't have another Logan Couture just sitting around waiting to line up. No one does. Like, you can't lose one of your top guys and not have it negatively affect your team.
Right. And getting back to what you said about the first two periods, Kevin LeBanc coming out of the locker room saying, we managed the puck better, but we need a full 60. We let loose in the third. The details, at this time of the year are big. When things aren't going offensively, your defense has to be sound. We need to be better.
Yeah, the team defense needs to be better. I mean, we can sit here and hammer some of the defensemen on the Sharks, but I thought overall the team effort in the third period was just not good enough. Like from to a man, just not good enough, period. I mean, you can definitely circle around the usual suspects, but I thought that, the forwards definitely have to do their part too, and I don't think they really did that in the third period.
No, I completely agree with that one. But let's get at it. Let's go through this fairly quick here. 12:03 in. Phil Kessel with a nice shot. That was a nice shot that beat Aaron Dell for his 10th of the season to make it 1-0 Coyotes. Stefan would start one of his nice nights on the night. And I thought the Sharks were okay. I didn't think it was their best, but I think the Coyotes kind of, I don't know, to me, it looked like they dictated play a little bit.
It was in my opinion, it was the difference between quantity and quality. I thought that the opportunities that the Sharks had, the Coyotes got on goal were really good. Like Aaron Dell had to make a lot of really, really big saves tonight in order to keep this team in it. The Sharks were, they were out shooting the Coyotes for a while there, but I think they might have outshot the Coyotes all game. But the chances on goal that the Coyotes had were just better plays, period. And that was a problem. The Sharks, I thought the Sharks held their own, and I don't want to say like the Coyotes just had their way with them, because that wouldn't be fair to say, but the quality of shot that Aaron Dell faced versus the quality of shot that Adin Hill was facing, especially early on in that game, there was a pretty significant difference between them. And that the goal by Kessel, I mean, it was a really nice goal. I mean, you might want to stop there, because I think it was it's hard because of the range of shot. It's hard to adjust quickly. I mean, Phil Kessel has a deceptively fast shot.
Oh yeah, my gosh, that was a wicked nice.
Deceptively fast.
Yeah.
And so maybe you want to see a save there. I thought it was really, really nice shot. And I don't know. I mean, I think if you wanted to have a grievance with Dell on any of the goals tonight, maybe that's the one. But I think that's it.
All right. The second period, Nason goes off for tripping. That sets up a Desert Dogs power play. Kessel again from Dvorak and Garland. about 5 minutes into the second period, you're like,
That second Kessel shot. So here's another, because this is the thing I always, this is the thing I always get in crap for crapping on Jones for, the shot where like the goalie sees the shot going and there's just no, there's no one in between them, right? And yes, turnovers can lead to those situations, but turnovers happen every game. Goalie has to make a save. That shot, I really like that Kessel shot, because if I'm that goalie, I'm thinking glove side all the way, and he just snaps it short side. Like, it was just a sick goal. And I think that Arundel is not the only guy that's going to get fooled by that shot. It was a sick, it was Chris in the chat, goal scorer's goal. It absolutely was. Like, it was one of those things where I think a lot of goalies would have probably bit glove hand on that, and they would have left the short side open, and that's exactly what happened there.
But the Sharks ended up being a little resilient in that second period. They get 2 goals in about a matter of a little over 3 minutes. First, you get LeBanc just crashing the net, gets his 11th from Kane to make it 2-1 Coyotes. Then a nice steal from Suomela, gets it over to Marlowe, Meyer delivers a rocket backhander. To make it 2-2, and that's where you kind of get that excitement going. It's like, all right, they're back in this, and this kind of replicated the last time they were in Glendale.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing was, like, again, the first 2 periods the Sharks played were good, so it was like when they scored those 2 goals, it wasn't like they were, like, again, it wasn't like the Coyotes were running them out of the building. They just, again, defensively they need to be better, because I think Arundel had to make a lot of really good saves. And before the second goal, I mean, we can talk about that Marlowe pass to Timo Meier, but if Dell doesn't make that ridiculous save at the other end, that play doesn't even go the other direction. So it's in the net. So I mean, it's, there was really a lot to like about the Sharks, like, first 2 periods again, and they, they stuck with it. They hung in there, and it was good. Like, it was a good. I don't be cliche. I use a lot of cliches lately, and I need to stop.
It's all right.
I'm tired today.
It's the dog days of winter, my friend.
It is the dog days of winter,
or should we say the desert dog days of winter?
The desert dog days of winter. It was like they showed a lot. I thought they showed a lot of character in the first 2, because after those 2 goals, like, the way that they could have let that game completely turn out of hand.
Right. And
I think that's what makes the third period all the more frustrating, was because the Sharks were in there for for at least the first 2 periods. I think the game started to get away from them a little bit at the end of the third, and then the Coyotes did score that goal, which kind of held out to be the winner. But yeah, it is, or I guess, was it the winner? I don't remember. Sure, maybe. No, it wasn't the winner, because it was 6-3 game.
Right. No, it would be 4-3.
I mean, I thought, loss and cross. So I think that's what makes the third period so frustrating, was because you went in there and you're like, you know what, they might battle their way out, and that's what you want to see at this point, right? You want to see them battle out to get wins. You want to see them show some resiliency. You want to see them, if they're going to turn this thing around. And I know I keep saying this, and people get me mad at me because they keep talking about, like, the season's over, but, like, these are the kind of games you want to see the Sharks play up until the third period.
Right.
If they're supposed to turn this thing around, they've got to show resilience against teams. This was a huge 2 points. Like, this was 2 points in the division. This is a bigger, like, it's a loss and it's 2 points, but this was a big 2 points to not get any part of.
No, and that's the worst part, and we'll get to why it was even a larger opportunity wasted tonight when we get to the reach around. So Hall gets a goal at 17-14. That made it 3-2 Desert Dogs. Of course, those backbreaker goals in the last 5 minutes, or the first 5 minutes, keeps haunting this team. Then the third period, Lawson Krause gets his 11th from Stefan to make 4-2 Coyotes, and that's where he's kind of started saying, oh boy. I mean, I know Erik Karlsson was clearing it around. LeBanc, I don't think, got to that spot to get over to intercept that pass to start the breakout, so Vlasic moves over. Hurdle doesn't fill in that spot. That gets where Klaus, who had a pretty good night tonight and looking for all those goals, ends up getting the eventual game winner.
Yeah, it's hard. And the other thing that I didn't bring up earlier was the Sharks had no real answer for the Hall line,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have much like that other line with, I want to say it was what, Kessel, Garland, and Kraus.
Yeah.
Like they had though, like that line. The Sharks are trying to figure out, and this is where not having Logan Couture really hurts, right? Because you need a guy who can, you need a forward who can kind of shut one of these lines down, and the Sharks had no answer. Like the third line, for some reason, Thornton's line kept ending up out, probably because the Coyotes had last change. But like there was too many times where that Thornton line was out against the Hall line, and it was a bloodbath when those two lines were on the ice together.
I saw that on your Twitter feed, and I couldn't agree with you more on that one. That one was just setting up for a disaster there, but that's where you take advantages of being having the last change and such.
Sure.
Late in the game, Schmaltz takes a tripping call to set up a Sharks power play. They pull Dell in that case. They get the teaser goal. Kane gets his 19th from Erik Karlsson with 2:09 left to play. The Coyotes would add 2 empty netters to finish this one out to lose 6-3. They avoid their first 4-game losing streak of the season. They had lost 3 games in a row, only 3 times all season. Just another tough one to go. The Sharks PK allows a power play goal. They're now like 28 of 32 in their last 14 games. You bring up 4 power play goals in 14 games. I'll take it. That's probably one of the best things to get out of this team right now. But
I mean, just the overall, I hate saying effort because I'm not those guys, but it just, the play wasn't there in the third period. It wasn't there, period. There's no polite way to put it. I mean, if you watch this game back, I mean, you can see the wheels kind of falling off at the end of the second, and it just carried into the third. And for a team that is supposed to be so desperate to stay in the playoffs, and they want to stay together, and they don't want to see anyone moving out the door, you can't have third periods like that.
No,
period.
No, not at all. Comments from Bob Bugner. Thank you, AJ. We were resilient, but we didn't execute well enough. Too sloppy, not making clean exits. Sloppy PK. We got away from how we played lately. Dell made big saves, especially early on, but we weren't good enough in front of him. Too many high danger chances, too many bad turnovers.
I can't disagree with any of that.
We kept pushing, but tonight we just weren't good enough. Arizona has a balanced attack, but we left guys all alone in front. We have to cover our slot, and a lot better than that. We'll reassess and come out better against Colorado. And I think that's directly talking about the game-winning goal from Lawson Krause.
Well, those 2 Kessel goals too. Kessel had no one on him. Like those were 2 great shots by Phil Kessel, but let's not pretend like he had to fight through, any defense to get those goals.
Yeah. So,
sorry, my old dog is trying to get up.
You're
in trouble sometimes.
And that being said, we lost our overlay here. Oh, that's terrific. All right, well, screw the overlay. There you go. Well, we're naked now. Yikes. Yeah. Overall, the Coyotes outshot the Sharks 40-28. Sharks originally dominated this in the faceoff circle 68-32, and then it just came out to 55-45.
Yeah, again, I mean, there's nothing redeemable about that third period. Even the power play goal was good, but I mean, other than that, there's really nothing to talk about in that third period. That's the problem, right? They really let the game get away from them. And I know I'm just repeating the same thing over and over again, but I mean, tell me something different. You probably can't.
No, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. So, Let's see what we got in the chat here. Let's see, David Toscano, we weren't good enough in front of him. Wow, that's a line you could use after the Washington game.
Sure.
Raphael Snit, Sharks had many good chances in the second, but Coyotes felt so much faster in their third.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They put. I don't know. Maybe it isn't fair. Like it was. I don't know if it was a clinic, but man, like it was pretty textbook on how to put a game away. Yeah. On their side.
Oh, definitely. But the Sharks didn't help themselves out either tonight in the third as well. Sharks had some big time chances, but they just didn't bury as well. Chris saying the Sharks are back to at least being good enough to win consistently, but they need to get red hot to get themselves out of the hole.
Yeah, I mean, I think the magic number now is 8. 8 more losses you can endure this season before things are pretty much like mathematically impossible. I know. I'm not going to rain on anyone's parade. If you want to sit there and tell me that the Sharks are in this thing until they're mathematically eliminated, that's fine. That's cool. I'm not here to rain on your parade. But it's too little, too. I don't even if they won tonight, it's still probably too little, too late.
Apparently, Hetty called out EK65 as lazy on the radio. Which
there was a play where I'm trying to think of which goal. But again, like, yeah, I get it. I understand people want to beat up in Erik Karlsson, and I'm not saying that he was, he had the best game defensively tonight, but there's a lot more wrong defensively with this team than just Erik Karlsson alone. And I think that is where I push back a little bit, because I think can Erik Karlsson be better defensively? Yes. Can he not turn over the puck in some of the ways that he does? Yeah. But there was a lot to dislike about the defensive play of the Sharks tonight. And I don't know. I'm not picking on. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not as cross with Erik Karlsson as other people are, but I'm not going to sit here and blindly defend him either.
Yep. Well, this will lead into my question here. Martin Jones shouldn't see the ice until they are out of it.
Why would you not play Aaron Dell after? Like, Aaron Dell didn't lose the Sharks the game tonight. In fact, Aaron Dell was the only reason that this game was close until the empty net.
Right. Oh, and this begs my question. Now that Dell has lost, and again, it wasn't Dell's fault, but since he lost, do you give Jones a chance to redeem himself in one of these two games before you go on the break?
In Colorado? Or Vancouver?
Yeah,
I wouldn't put him in net in either of those games. Like, again, I mean, I guess you can put him back in but if the Sharks are supposed to be going for it, can you afford to put Jones in anymore?
That's true. Now when's the last time he saw the net? What was it? This was Dell's 4th straight start, I think.
Yeah, the game where they lost and where they gave up the game in the last 2 minutes, where I remember where Chris tweeted out their stats and how they won, and then was that Washington?
Yeah, I want to say Washington. Yeah, it's got to be Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, where they just fell apart in the last minute there. Not even a minute, for that matter. So, time on ice tonight. I'm just looking, because Melker Karlsson and Marcus Sorensen did not see a lot of ice.
Yeah, they got the ice. The bench got shortened because benching your guys that you don't play anyway is a message or something. I don't know. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah, and that's the tough part. I mean, is this a different voice trying to teach the guys the same thing?
I don't know, man. I'm past the point where I don't even care about ice point at this point, because again, it doesn't really matter. Like, the message clearly wasn't sent because the play was not there in the third. I mean, keep benching. I mean, I don't know what it is with this team in the third period, but like, I don't know. I'm not getting bent up what ice time because you probably should have sat some people in the third period for some pretty lackluster play. Are those guys your worst defenders? I don't know.
Yeah. Hall, Garland, Kessel, Stefan all had 3-point nights. And another tidbit from the stat nerd from me. 1, 2, 3, 4 players got their 11th goal of the season tonight. Kessel got 11, LeBanc got 11, Hall got 11, but he eventually got his 12th with the empty netter, and Krause got his 11th. So that's kind of an interesting tidbit there, but I can only imagine LeBanc seeing that and is like, see, I can get paid Taylor Hall money now.
I just want to address this comment from David Discount here. Give Jones a chance. He has bounced back great when taken out before. Since when did we decide to put Dell in this golden mantle? He's backup goalie material. Here's the thing, right? And I don't think it's not really a comment on their overall what they are. Aaron Dell, and I feel like we're right now, Aaron Dell is giving you the best goaltending.
Right.
Period. Since the coaching change, Aaron Dell has given you the best goaltending. Until that changes, because tonight wasn't Dell's fault. Mm-mm. You can blame a lot of things. Aaron Dell is not one of them. Until Aaron Dell stops giving you these performances, you ride it, because that is the best thing you can do. And Jones has had numerous opportunities to get his crap together over the last 2 seasons. If it wasn't for that little brief period of hotness in the playoffs last year, I don't know how anyone's super positive on Dell at this point, or on Jones at this point. It's a difficult thing, but I really it's not that I think that Aaron Dell, if the Sharks came back next year with Aaron Dell and Martin Jones with the idea that Aaron Dell is going to play a bunch of games and everything's awesome now, that would be a colossal mistake on their part. But right now, those are the guys you have, and of the two of them, Aaron Dell's giving you the better goaltending. Until that stops being a thing, you keep playing him.
Couldn't agree more. I think Dell is giving you the best chance that he can win. That's the tough part. AJ saying, Jones is 6'4", can he play forward? Just park him in front of the goalie. Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Can
he tip shots?
Yeah. Right? And at this point, why not? Whatever we can do
that's not true. If Jones was on another team, he would have been waived by now.
No.
I present for you for your viewing pleasure, Mr. Jimmy Howard.
And think, everyone, we almost traded for Jimmy Howard at the deadline.
I don't know, whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, come on, AJ. I got it fixed first off, but give up on the graphic row. You look like Brad Marchand in the show, right? Hey.
Harsh.
Hey, speaking of that.
How dare you, peasant? How dare you?
Oh, jeez. I just think that Andy Man, like you said earlier, is Brad Marchand in here? No, he's not in here. But wow, one chirp can make amazing things happen tonight or today on the Twitter machine. And for a guy who likes to lick hockey players, boy, he gets really bent out of shape for sure. Yeah, you peasant. I mean, my gosh. So, Andy Man, hang in there. I'm sure your notifications from everybody will eventually calm down. So, with that, is it time?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, why not?
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
All right, let's do it. Let's make sure. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go on Twitter. Andy Man, otherwise known as Bleeding Teal. Well, he was given some tough love to Brad Marchand. Let's just put it that way. And Brad, obviously
he made the score.
You know, got approximately 20,000. Okay, got on the score, got on TSN. Spit and Chicklets made a comment. Wish made a comment. So, moving
I wish I could
on.
inspire this kind of ire.
Yeah. Not sure. Not. That's awkward. Yeah, that's a little awkward. All right. But speaking of awkward, here's the chance that the Sharks had. They awkwardly blew away tonight. In Buffalo, the Sabres beat the Golden Knights 4-2. Jack Eichel with his 28th and the game-winning goal to give the win for the Sabres, who desperately needed a win tonight. In Toronto, San Remo native Austin Matthews with a hat trick. Hat trick. Some will say it's his first NHL hat trick. I say no, it's his second because he scored 4 in that first game. So Leafs win. Leafs win 7-4 over the New Jersey Devils. Yes, you're welcome, Dangle, if you're ever watching. Lightning in the shootout beat the LA Kings 4-3. Stamkos gets his 18th on the season for that one. The Islanders just destroy the Red Wings 8-2 in that one. My goodness. Brock Nelson, you have yourself a game. Andy Kendrick's future girlfriend or future boyfriend. Let's try that again, shall we? Anna Kendrick's future boyfriend, Anthony Beauvillier, gets on the board there too to win it for the Islanders. That's awkward. In Pittsburgh, the Penguins welcome back Sidney Crosby. He has a 3-point night to beat the Minnesota Wild 7-3. Zach Parise get 2 goals and still not enough. In Columbus, Merskalainen's gets a shutout over the Boston Bruins 3-0 there. In overtime, the Blackhawks win 3-2 over the Ottawa Senators. Former Shark Chris Tierney with a goal, but not enough. Jonathan Toews wins it in overtime for the Blackhawks. In Winnipeg, the Jets shut out Vancouver 4-0. Connor Hellebuck didn't hella suck. Along with
he made something like 41 saves.
Yeah, so there you go with that one. In overtime, the Dallas Stars, thanks to Erik Lindell, his 3rd of the season, makes it 3-2 over the Colorado Avalanche in overtime. That's the Sharks' next opponent.
Game that hurts. Yeah.
Yep. In Edmonton, the Oilers win 4-2 over Nashville. That's not going to help out things. Leon Draisaitl with 2 goals in that one. And of course, the Sharks lose 6-3 to the Desert Dogs. And that's where we stand at this evening. As we look at the standings, the Sharks don't help themselves out at all. Given a chance to do things, they don't do much. Edmonton goes back to second place at 50-55. Calgary's at 55. The Desert Dogs with the win go to 57 and lead the division. Vancouver and Winnipeg hold down the 2 wildcard spots. Currently, the Vegas Golden Knights, while tied with those 2 teams, are now currently out of the playoffs due to having played 2 more games than the Jets and the Canucks. So 54 is the number they're at. San Jose is at 46 and are 8 points back. So that's where we're at on this night.
Yeah, I mean it's not a good spot for the Sharks to be in. There's a lot of makeup, and you got to take advantage of other teams doing different things on their schedule, and unfortunately, you have a 3-point game, which doesn't help things in the wild card standings.
Nope.
And then obviously you don't take advantage of some teams losing a game in the division. So you just It's a holding pattern, and that sucks. It is what it is.
Yep. Andy Man, for those keeping score at home, of the 3 tweets, the original tweet, his reply, and Marchand's reply, and Andy Man's reply, there were over 1,000 direct replies, 1,700 retweets, and 9,300 likes, and counting. My goodness, Andy Man, have yourself a night, man. Oh man, that was a great one. AJ saying, it pains me to say the Canucks are my dark horse for the Pacific Division.
Oof. I don't know if I'm that optimistic. Okay, all right.
I mean, at this point, it's the three.
Who knows? It's
the three
jump
Pacific
ball.
teams right now, along with Arizona and maybe Vegas.
It's jump ball. Pacific Division's absolutely jump ball. I mean, there's so much parity in the Pacific Division this year.
Right, and the thing, well, parity, or is it because nobody wants to run away with it?
Well, it's parity, right? They're all the same. I mean, they're like there's just the Pacific's just filled with a bunch of, and I guess all teams are somewhat going to be somewhat flawed in a salary cap system, but like you can point at a major flaw for all of these contending Pacific Division teams. It's not like just the Sharks. It's not like the Sharks are the only ones with problems in the Pacific Division. It's a jump ball.
So there's that. Yeah, and that kind of. Can we have Calgary and play Edmonton for the rest of the season like every night? When was the last time we had a bench clearing brawl? What, 1992 or something? I mean, it might be.
Well, you just can't anymore because the fines that would get handed out and the suspensions. Like if leaving the bench, if here's the problem, right? Is I don't know what they would do if there was like a full bench clearing brawl, because that'd be different. But leaving the bench to get in a fight is an automatic 10-game suspension. Now, I don't know what they would do if everybody gets off the bench. Like, that would obviously be something interesting. I guess you're calling your AHL team for a game. But, I mean, leaving the bench to get an altercation is an automatic 10 games.
Yeah. We've seen that happen before. I forget. I think, was it John Scott last got that? So, AO, come on.
Yeah, maybe.
AO, really? Come on. I think they're almost mathematically eliminated. Jeez. Detroit is my dark horse for the Atlantic. All right. Well, in case you missed anything, you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownus.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, you name it, and more. And, of course, we're always available at tealtownusa.com for all your needs. So, with that, let's get ready for Colorado.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, they got to be better. They can't play 2 periods and forget to play one.
And they seem like they've been on the rise, though, except for tonight.
Well, that's the problem, right? Like when anyone tells me, "Oh, you're being such a downer on the Sharks. They're not mathematically out of it yet." Well, unfortunately, every 2 games you do this. Like this is why I cannot get behind the idea that the Sharks are going to mathematically somehow pull this thing out, because they've shown nothing in their history this season says that they can play consistently the way they need to play for longer than 2 games at a time. And that's unfortunate. I mean, look, I would go with Aaron Dell again. I think Aaron Dell had a good game tonight. He's given you the better goaltending. If he gets absolutely roasted and toasted in Arizona, then then you can throw Jones back in, I guess, because at that point you're running out of time anyway. But yeah, I mean, they got to be better. They have to play the full 30 minutes. Cliche, puck in deep.
Yeah, good pucks in deep. get around and everything like that.
I didn't forget about the month of November. It was just November was 2 months. Like it was a month and a half ago. It's gone. It's done. It's like Game 7. It's over.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go at some point.
Well, super chat from Laurel. Laurel, did you want to add anything to that? Thank you for your donation. Of course, whenever you do a super chat donation, we will read it, and and all the money that goes to help support the show, for sure. So.
Yeah, Jones played. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to beat up on Jones. He wasn't in net. He didn't do anything wrong. Man, I don't know. Like spot charts. So could you? I don't think like there's a question way up in the chat. Like, would the Sharks be really worse if we traded a bunch of people? And the answer is, of course, we would be. Like, of course, we would be. I don't know.
I'm trying to find it up there really quick.
Yeah, like it's hard because like here's the thing, right? Like everyone wants to talk about, oh well, put this Kuhre player in, put that Kuhre player in. None of these players, like bunch of players. Now you can argue with me about whether the coaching staff didn't do the right thing or whatever. That's fine. We can have that argument. But the reality is, a lot of guys got an opportunity to seal down spots in the bottom six for the Sharks, and none of them did, to the point where they had to go and find Patrick Marleau, who was basically, waiting for a phone call, and then you had to go claim Nason off waivers, a guy who before December didn't even have an NHL contract.
Jeez. But,
like, and you've it's the Sharks would absolutely be worse. Dell, I mean, look at again. Dell's giving you the best goaltending. There's none of these Barracuda guys are ready to come up and play NHL time. I think it would be a big mistake to try and just hotshot them into that spot. There's no reason for it. Just leave it alone. Let the season play out. Look, at the Sharks aren't going to incredibly blow things up, and we all knew that already. Like, this is not a thing. That being said, read my articles that are coming out. Look, it's gonna be selling around the periphery. They're gonna sell some guys that probably aren't coming back next year because their tickets are too high, or maybe you're not getting enough bang for your buck. Whatever, they're pending unrestricted free agents. There's no reason. I mean, I understand the argument, but I don't see a reason. Maybe later in the season, like maybe when they're good and dead for real, and they accept they're good and dead, then you can actually start, maybe bringing some guys up and getting them some looks at the NHL. But I mean, right now the Sharks are trying to sell us that they are going for it, and as long as they are doing that, then they need to put the best lineup they possibly can on the ice to try and win games.
Andy Man with a super chat donation. Thank you so much. After my account got popular today, and with my article pin at the top, hopefully the site got some increased traffic.
Nice.
Yes, Andy Man did write a little post for, well, not really little, but wrote a post on tealtownusa.com, so definitely check that out. Like Ian said, he also has been writing a series on selling the Sharks.
So part 1 and 2, defense and half the forwards, is already out. I'm hoping to have the second half of the forward group out tomorrow, and then the last part, which will have goaltending and some other information, will out ideally no later than Friday.
Right. Interesting comment here from Chris. Marleau, $700K, 8 goals, 8 assists. Joe Pavelski, $7 million, 8 goals, 10 assists.
Yeah, well, yay.
I mean, so those who were saying, hey, you overpaid to keep Carlson, but you couldn't save Pavelski,
Not like it wasn't the not signing Pavelski isn't the problem. It's the fact that the Sharks did not leave themselves enough to repair the forward depth. It didn't have to be Pavelski. It just had to be someone. And the Sharks gave them no one. They got instead Patrick Marleau and Stefan Nason.
Crickets, maybe crickets. Also, AJ spoke with Doug Benz, vice president, and and also in charge of digital and marketing of the Sharks, with some interesting tidbits that you'll be looking forward to coming up soon on tealtownusa.com, and along with all of our podcatchers and YouTube channels. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That helps us out big time. We are over 1,900. We are on the verge of hitting 2,000 on the YouTube and 5,000 on the Twitter. We would love to go into the All-Star break with 5,000 Twitter followers. That'd be great to see. So playing with the sim lottery here, the Sharks currently sit with the 6th worst, and that pick would be the 7th for testing out. So testing out the draft lottery chances there. So far so good. I mean,
oh, there you go. Oh my God, we're doing this, are we? All right, let's do it.
Right, you ready?
Sim it. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So the Sharks pick sits at the 6th best odds of winning the lottery. We're simming the lottery, and oh damn!
Oh, God, quit.
Okay, we're out of here. Yeah, that was the worst case scenario. Let's see. Can I share this screen really quick here? This is just a nightmare here.
So the Ottawa Senators move up 5 spots to select first overall according to the 2020 draft simulator. Well, that's it.
Oh boy, yikes! So, all right, let's get out of here. And of course, Anthony Sanchez saying the Sharks are going full original logo next year. Yes, I think they might. We shall see. So,
who knows?
Who knows with that?
I don't know anything. I just work here.
I would like that. I would like for them to have 4 jerseys, maybe one that's kind of like the one that's kind of behind me. Let's go that one right there. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see. Right. Or the one that's here. With that, let's get out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Follow us on our social medias. Check out our other content. There was a technologist dropped in last night or the other night. So thank you so much. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. We'll see you on Thursday, everyone. Have a good night.